It's been quite a bit since I've done a talk up here, so it's like very cool to me. Yeah, here we go. Uh, so I'm a designer here at Planning Center, and I've been here for 10 years. This is in October, it's 10 years, so very happy to have reached that milestone. Um, I have been drawing a lot lately, and quarantine has kept me pretty busy, as you can see. And I have joined the marketing team for Planning Center, which has been fun to get to be a part of that a little bit. And that's me there, even though it looks nothing like me. I've since grown some hair and put on some dad weight, so I'm happy about that. Oh, I don't know what happened there. Was that supposed to be like that? I'm sorry, I'm gonna redo this. Oh yes, here we go. I'm going to reorder these slides as we're talking because whatever, people are gonna do this. There we go, very professional, okay. I tried the NFTs, that's what I did. I wanted to share that with you all. I did the NFT thing. I stopped the NFT thing $200 later, and 2 weeks later. If you want to know about that, I will happily write a blog on how you're wasting your time if you're doing that as an artist. Not as a Bitcoin billionaire, apparently, but if you want my NFTs, you can go to rarible.com and buy my NFTs. I would encourage you. Or you can just screenshot it because, it's there. I became a dad. That is my adorable daughter, Jade. She is amazing. And she's my light in my life, in addition to my wife. Okay, go. Okay, now we're here. Here we go. Okay, so this is a very elaborate animation, right? This is one of those animations that we're going to be talking about. And I wanted to show this. This is Ready 5. This is a little side thing that myself and a few other guys have built here, but we're gonna animate this, and this is gonna be all in code. And so it's gonna be really impressive because we're gonna use Lottie. So I'm gonna show you how to do that. And if you don't know what Lottie is basically an animation library that was created by the folks at Airbnb, okay? And it allows designers like myself to go and create animations in After Effects, export them using body movement, which is a JavaScript magical thing. I don't know the actual terminology, so don't judge me. But it will make it so that you can have an animation in code, very simple, and have an elaborate animation. We're also going to be talking about Gatsby and working with Lottie and Gatsby, because Lottie, as simple as it is to set up, working with Gatsby, there's some hurdles that you have to go through, but once you get through them, it's very easy and it's set, so you don't have to worry about doing those hurdles again. And I'm going to talk about some of the mistakes I made, and hopefully that helps other people. This is not meant to be a tutorial, so please don't follow it as such. If you're online and you're here because you think it's a tutorial, please don't. Skip forward, find the things you need, and hello, goodbye. There's plenty of other tutorials out there. So the workflow I'm going to be talking about specifically is from Figma to After Effects, exporting the JSON file, and then putting that in Gatsby. I say this because there are about 4 or 5 different workflows you can have. There's Webflow, which I haven't used personally, but a lot of people like using Webflow, designers especially at bigger companies. I find that this workflow works best for me because we do a lot more custom code here, whereas Webflow, it's a little bit more, for me, restrictive that I've seen. So this is the workflow we're focusing on. These are the plugins and setup. So again, things that you will need if you want to do this, if you're following along and you want to try this at home or later on. You're going to need this really cool plugin called AEUX. I didn't know this existed until a few months ago. And I'm going to show you an example with this. But basically what this is it allows you to go to Figma, okay, and click on a frame and open it up in After Effects. It'll export all the layers. So you can see I have all the layers here broken down for my little character. By the way, this is Yukon, and he is one of the new Planning Center characters I am working on for our marketing site. He is meant to help navigate people when they're getting started. So Yukon, yes. I was going to call him Cornelius, but that's just too much, so calling him Yukon. So yeah, basically, when you're doing this, you have to have obviously go to the AEUX site, get your plugin installed. There's very clear instructions on how to do that. When you export it, you get a little dialog here, and it says send selection to AE. You do have to have After Effects open in order to do this. If you don't have After Effects open, it's gonna give you an error. And so make sure it's open. So we're gonna send this selection to After Effects, and you can see it's really broken here, right? He does not look healthy. So this is a common problem, especially when you're using AEUX. A lot of people have run into this. And the way you solve it is I've corrected the issue with my other version of Yukon here. You have to go into each, so two things. One is, I'm going to delete that guy, he doesn't matter. One is you have to have every top level grouping as a frame. You cannot have groups, otherwise it won't export properly. So that's the first thing. So make sure everything is in a frame here. Pretty simple, over off to the side. Instead of group, change it to frame, right? That's the first step. The second step is you have to make sure that you have outlined what you can. Unless it's a stroke, you don't have to outline the stroke if you want your strokes to just be paths. But you have to flatten everything as well. So by flattening everything, you basically like reset how it looks. And then when he gets imported in, it's basically resetting a little canvas, so it puts it in the right position, and then you're basically good to go. And you can start animating, and I think I have a little version of him animating. So there you go. You can get to like kind of see how he's animating and have his registration changed, everything like that. So it's really useful for when you're designing bigger projects, especially on Figma, because more and more designers are going the Figma route. So it's like, how do I animate this without porting everything over to Illustrator, because Illustrator and After Effects work pretty seamlessly. And then Webflow is another great resource. So quick example for you. Body movement is the next thing you're gonna need. It's a plugin for After Effects, so fairly simple to install. The developer's super friendly too, so if you have questions and it's not working, you can email him and he gets back, like every time I've emailed, 24 hours, less than. So pretty cool. For Gatsby, then this is a common mistake as well. Most people want to install Gatsby Remark Lottie, and that's only if you want Lottie to work inside of your blog posts, inside of your markdown blog posts. So if you don't want that, then you need to install Lottie Web. That's the magic sauce for getting them to work just on your pages. Okay. And then also, you want to install npm install on screen, and I will go over that. The reason you want that is because your animation will load in the DOM. It'll start playing automatically, and by the time you scroll to it, if it's not on the page, it'll have already played, and then you're kind of like, dang it, that sucks. So on screen will tell it, hey, as soon as it scrolls into view, then play the animation. So it's great because it saves you a bunch of time on JavaScript. Okay, so here we go. Demo time. Demo. So currently, I am working on a animation for this site called Ready5, right? Fast and friendly incident management for teams of any size. I'm not trying to plug it, just kidding, I am. Go there and sign up if you want to. If you're tired of GenieOps or whatever it is, I don't know what it is. So you scroll down, and then you see this like nice little thing here. You're like, yeah, I want that to be a little bit animated. Again, it's very easy. Just make sure everything is in a frame. You're good to go. And then voila, send to AE. Your frame is there. So I've already animated this bad boy and gotten something going on here, so you can kind of see as we here we go. Well, run that. We'll start our Gatsby server for that. show you the magic if it runs. So basically what's Gatsby's starting up, I didn't really cover Gatsby. Gatsby is lightning fast static sites built off of React. That's what it is. It's just super fast. So you can do all sorts of things with it, have your blog, and it uses GraphQL, which I guess some people don't really like, and that's been a hurdle for some. But yeah, there you go. So like I've animated some of this already. And honestly, this animation only took about, maybe two-ish minutes. Whereas if you're going in and doing it with CSS, you can do it if you're really, really good and skilled with CSS animations, but it's definitely going to take more time. So for us, it's been very useful. I'm going to show you now. I'm going to continue. Okay, so this is kind of like the code that it took to run that animation. You can see I'm importing all the necessary steps, Lottie, we talked about on screen. And I'm basically, when you're in After Effects, body move in, once you export it, you will export a JSON file, and then you import the JSON file. That's basically where your animation will live. And then you're just calling the animation, and you're playing it. And the way I'm doing it here is I'm playing the animation once it enters with on-screen, and I'm playing the first 30 frames first, and then this array is looping because Lottie will just loop the last array over and over and over again, so your animation doesn't just fly in every single time. It's just looping the last one. So it does that by default, and you can set the speed and all sorts of neat things like that. If I can here, I will show you the exporting process because it's fairly simple. Here we go. Don't save that. I don't want to save that. Oh, this is not that, but we'll use that for the exporting process. This is, by the way, this is the first time I'm doing like live stuff. I usually just do slides, so I hope. Thank you. Oh gosh. Yeah, so I'm just going up to window and extensions, body moving, all right? And then I have this project called compiled, and that is the animation here. That's the animation you saw at the beginning with Ready 5, the crazy logo. So I'm going to change the destinations just so it's easy to find here to my desktop. And I'm just going to call it data.json, and I'm going to show you another really cool site or tool that you can use. So now it's building the animation very efficiently. Okay, great, compiled, done. Now, if I want to, I can go through the hassle of installing this data.json file into my project folder, but then I have to go through the hurdles if I haven't set it up, and really try and figure out what to, how to set everything up. So what I'll do is I'll go to this site called Lottie Files, and you can create a free account. And what you can do is, let's go to private animations. Here's some of the animations that I have. And you can see I've already uploaded this guy. And there he is. So you basically can test your animations without actually having to go and put them in your project. It's as simple as upload my animation, and then you drag over the file, and it's uploading. Hello animation. Okay, so you'll see here, right? And you can edit your animation inside of this as well. So you can go to edit and change the colors if you want, which is super amazing if it works. Yeah, it does work. Look at that. Hello. So lottiefiles.com, great resource that I've loved using, and it just streamlines the work. Makes me way more efficient. And you can share it with people. So you'll notice here real quick, and I did this animation on purpose, that the phone is kind of cut off. This is like a little gotcha that I ran into a few times. You have to click on the object. In this case, I have the phone here, and go into that pre-composition, and you'll see here that the pre-comp Figma does this, or AEUX does this, where sometimes it doesn't exactly trim it to the most exterior. So what you can do really quickly is just change the composition settings and change the width. And what's nice now is After Effects actually shows you as you're changing it, which they never did before. And this is, well, maybe they did, but this is very new to me, so I might have been left out of the loop there. But now that I've done that, I save it, and I can go and export again. Here we go, firing up body moving. Compiled, we're good to go. Render, I'm gonna copy over that data.json file, and I can go over, drag it over to, here we are, upload animations, and drag this bad boy over here, and we'll see it. There we go, fixed. So you can see, it's like nice to test your animations and fix them in more real time. So that was the demo-ish. So some findings, okay, this is where maybe most people who are already doing this online watching this are like, yeah, dude, we know. Here's some things that maybe will help you. Okay, so the pros, why use Lottie, right? It's time saving for a designer who knows some coding, and if you don't want to spend developers' time doing it, like it's a win in that regard. It's better for the designer in that way because designers more often than not are more familiar with After Effects, and there's less of a learning curve rather than saying, hey, learn how to do JavaScript commands and everything like that, because you can do a lot of interactions with Lottie. You can create interactions and have things play backwards. It's really fun. Add some interactivity, easy to learn and implement, which I basically already said. It creates, I've found, a bridge for designers and developers, because when, especially if you're at a company that has them so regimented and cut off, not like, you know, Planning Center doesn't do that. We're kind of in the trenches with developers here. So like other companies that I've talked to, they don't really have that. So it does allow designers to see how, see that side of it, see the coding side of it, and allows them to contribute in some way, even if it's a small way, which I think that helps bridge the gap. And then this is a key one for me. It's better than GIFs. And I'm saying GIFs, not GIFs. Don't say GIF with me. I'll get into it. So you can see here, this is like a quick example from Mikhail on CodePen, but I mean, there's the GIF and there's the Lottie. Like the quality is just totally different. And also the file size is different, believe it or not. GIFs, like it's like a little, sometimes it's a little more, it depends on the colors you're using and the size of the animation, but sometimes it can be less than your GIF files. So food for thought there. Cons to using Lottie and Gatsby, Lottie does come as a bit of a dependency load. So it's just something to consider, because you have to maintain it. Like you have to watch it if it gets out of date. And we know Gatsby packages, if you've dealt with that, which I'm dealing with it, it's a little bit much. So just beware. A little bit of a learning curve. With animations, it's easy to go overboard. So if you start adding a bunch of animations to your site, you know, you do run into some UX problems and accessibility issues. I'm trying to take that more seriously as a designer, especially accessibility. When things are flashing and popping and coming in all over the place, it's like, it can be very jarring for some people. So just like have some constraints there. It can be a complex workflow, jumping from Figma to After Effects and then back to, you know, your Gatsby site. So it's something that if Webflow cuts half of that out for you, then I would say stick with Webflow. But if you like this workflow, then make it work for you. And there's a little bit of a time investment in getting set up. But once you get set up, you're pretty good to go. And I do think this is a win. If you can use CSS animations when possible, it's best to. There's a few things. I'm going to show you the Planning Center marketing site that we put a fair amount of time in. But there are things that you can do if they're simple animations. Just do CSS animations, because it's less taxing on load time that I've found. Oh wait, I didn't mean to do that, I don't think. Oh, okay, yes. Safari glitch and bug. This is a big one in the community. I hope it helps somebody because it took me a while to figure it out. There is a Safari glitch, and it's a rendering issue with Safari. It's not anything any developers are doing on their end. Basically, this is our planning center site, and this is the old way before I fixed it. So you can see as I reload it here, you can notice that glitch on. I hope you saw it. It does flicker periodically when it's there. It'll start flickering, and really what it is, yeah, there it is again, and it'll jitter back and forth. So this is as a result of basically as Safari is having trouble rendering the height. It's really, yeah, I don't know what the deal is really. It's just, it keeps rereading the height every time you scroll or when the page is loaded. So by default, the height is set to 100%. You can see here, I targeted it at the SVG element, the main SVG element, and set the height to auto important. And I know that's gross, but because it's an issue with Safari, it's not meant to be a permanent fix. It's a temporary fix. It's duct tape until they figure out what's going on their end, and I'm kind of watching it closely. There hasn't been really any momentum on it though that I can see. So if you're a JavaScript wizard, or if you're even someone who has a better solution, I would love to know. There is a solution where you can set your renderer to canvas right here. You can set the renderer to canvas. What that'll do is it will just create a web HTML canvas, but your animation is going to look like garbage. It's going to look pixelated. It's going to look gross and small. It's true. So you want to keep it in SVG because that's what keeps it sharp. But you can see here, this is the planning center site that we built, the marketing team. So a lot of nice little animations coming in. Check this animation out. Boom. Oh, I could, yes. We need to see that again. Let's see it again. Let's do it again. Oh, here we go. Boom. Oh, yeah. All right. So it's very cool. We have, there's more work to be done here. Always learning and trying new things, and figuring out what the best solution is for these animations, and really bringing little characters like this to life, making the product feel even more friendly than it is. I think that it's been great to explore. So this is a lot of fruits of the labor, I think, as you would put it. So yeah, I know that glitch is it's a gross fix for that, but that is the solution that I found that works best. I would not advise you to do canvas for the renderer unless you want your animation to look kind of nasty. You can try it, but for exporting from either Illustrator or Figma, I would say avoid the shadows, like the gentleman on the left there. That's me. Again, I look a little different. I think I might go back to that look. I might try it later. I might try. Got to do some jump rope. The dude on the side, Yukon, he's all flat. One of the things of adding some shadow and dimension is just basically creating shapes that have lighter colors and shadows, so it adds to that feeling of 3D. And Lottie's not doing 3D that I know of right now, but that's just it's a good thing to avoid those things for right now if you're doing it. For the future, I'm always doing more research and development. The shadows and gradients, I have had some luck with shadows. I really truly have, but I get errors after a while, and I'm not sure if that's because of the shadows or something I'm doing with JavaScript, because I'm still kind of a novice with some of that. Yeah, we might get there. It'd be great if we could. I think that would be awesome. It'd be a win for Lottie. And if you want to keep an eye on Lottie Docs and lottiefiles.com, yeah, if you're a developer and you just want a quick animation, you can get free animations on lottiefiles.com. It's win, easy win. So go ahead and do that. As far as tutorials go, if someone's watching this, or if you want to see something later, look at that URL. Look at that URL. Man, Listen, I love this tutorial. This has been by far the best one when it comes to Lottie and Gatsby, 100%. But I know that that is a long URL, so I've listed it on my site, which is a little, I did that really, really quickly today. And so if you go to that Lottie and Gatsby string, you'll see some of the things I talked about. I'm going to expand more on it. I'm going to write about how some things we've learned here at Planning Center. And hopefully I've been able to shed some light on some things that y'all didn't know. And for people out on YouTube, thank you. Thank you.